Investigates starts right now.
What is up, nobody? How y'all doing? I see a big 0 in the damn comments. It looks like this is not a very good time slot. It is 8:30 in the morning. I got to go to work at 10:30. I was going to hang out with you guys for a couple of hours. Oh, there's one. There's one. Asshole. Why don't you come up and co-host with me, Pretty Little Clues? Let me give you a link. I think Alex or yeah, everybody's live at the same time. And it's just me and you. 857 stuff. I think he's going to court. Maybe we'll tap into that. 857 Tucson. Are you there?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm gonna mute.
Black.
What?
You're not. There's nobody there. It's all black.
I see that. Weird. Let me try again.
I guess 857's in court. What the hell is this? That's stupid. Wait. Shut up. Hey guys, I am. Be careful, MAB. Supporting other streamers is a no-no. I can do whatever the hell I want. All right. Oh, well, JLR's live too. Supporting other streamers is a no-no. Who the fuck said that? I don't give a shit what anybody says. I'll do whatever I goddamn well please. That's what I do. Where the hell are you, Pretty Little Clues? I don't see you. Anyway, I was going to go over the video with Dr. Gary Bricado, Brian Anton. I'm sure 857 is not going to be in court for a while. There you are, still black. This is your solo. Oh, there you are. Gotcha. You there?
Heck. What the
There
heck?
you are.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay, good.
Technically challenged or what?
No, I don't ever really have this issue, especially not when I'm here. So I don't know what is going on.
Trying a new time slot. I don't think it's working out very well. Everybody else in the world is live right now.
Yeah, exactly. They're all waiting for 857's court. He's like the first one.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
I'm monitoring the situation. Nothing is happening yet. And let me turn this down. JLR and Ted and some chick are jabbering over here.
Who is it, Michelle?
Not sure.
Oh, she kind of came out of nowhere, but she's pretty, so can't blame them, right?
She's pretty, just like Pretty Little Clues.
Oh, nothing's as pretty as my clues. No, I'm just kidding. Oh,
I
how are you?
I'm good. I've just been working my ass off on my landscaping project. Hey, dreaming blue skies and sandy beaches. What's up?
Dude,
You want to hear? Have you seen what?
No, go ahead.
Have you seen Dr. Gary Bricato's thingy with Brian Enton?
No. Nope.
Let's watch it.
All right, go for it.
Number 22. Here we go. Let's see if I got it on the right speed. I can't take the normal speed.
Though with Dr. Gary Bricato, again, forensic psychologist, criminal profiler. I've been waiting a couple of days to talk to him about these new notes because, again, he's so good at sort of pulling information out of notes, getting into the mind of a criminal. And he's very, very skeptical of the notes, of all the notes, including the first two notes. And he's going to explain why. I want you.
Do you think that all the notes are real or just the two?
I don't know if any of them are real.
Handsome version of your hero, General William Tecumseh Sherman. I look like a damn general.
Guys, you heard my conversation with Dr. Bricato. Dr. Bricato, thank you for joining me. Really appreciate it. It's nice to see you. Last time I saw you was in person when we did the CW special, but it's always good to catch up with you. I'm really interested to get your take on some of these new developments, specifically with the notes. And I kind of wanted to go about it because I think there's obviously a possibility that the notes are not real, but I think there's a possibility.
Thanks, Nefertiti's Ford. Good to see you.
Hey, Nefertiti's Fjord.
Fjord. That's one of those water thingies.
Yeah.
Fjord, like in the Netherlands or whatever.
Possibility that the notes are real. We just don't know, and that's probably what the FBI is thinking. And Savannah has said that she thinks the notes are real. So I wanted to start by kind of just assuming the notes are real.
Me and Dr. Gary think alike. Watch this.
With some of my questioning and see what you make of some of the language. And start with and I'm not talking about the TMZ notes here. I want to talk about the two notes that went to the local TV station that seem like the ones that the FBI are the most interested in.
I watched Ray Marcel yesterday on the case of the chick that was on the 10-person boat.
Yeah. Marley Kinney.
Marcel kept telling Ray kept calling it a Puton boat instead of
pontoon.
Instead of pontoon, the whole video is saying Puton. I'm like, what is it? Like Putang? I don't know. Oh my God, I was cracking up.
It's funny.
And with the first note, the hello Savannah, we have your mother Nancy, and that was the actual ransom note.
To me, like the hello Savannah is like a dig that, I'm back, I'm here, I'm alive, and I'm not in jail, and I'm getting revenge
with the money demand. What do you make of that, especially the hello Savannah?
Well, it struck me as peculiar that it was addressed to only one of the siblings, suggesting that perhaps whoever did this thought that would be the primary source of the money, or that
they wanted revenge on Savannah in particular, and that Annie and Tommaso, it didn't even cross his mind.
That perhaps unconsciously revealing that there was a secondary motive, which was some sort of interpersonal dynamic that had to do with her.
Yeah, I agree.
Remember that this is an individual, Savannah, this poor woman is walking around, I think, sort of feeling partially responsible in a sense that she might have been the reason her mother was targeted. And whoever wrote this note doesn't seem to mind her walking around thinking that.
Wanted her walking around thinking that. I think it's the whole point of the whole thing.
Mm.
which suggests a cruelty toward her, in addition to whatever the financial motive is here. So that I think that there's something about this that suggests someone singling her out either for a practical reason, which is financial, or an emotional reason, which is that they have some knowledge of her family, some personal feeling about her, some animosity.
Animosity. Wonder what that could be. I still think Epstein is behind it. I just do. With all the evidence that I've gathered on.
No, but he's dead, remember?
No, he's not. He's not. He didn't
I
have.
know.
I mean, I think I've proven that. And Elaine is not in jail either, so they're both out. And what would they do with when she interviewed all those women, not just in 2019, but before that? She had a shitload of information she was coming out with, but her superiors told her not to report it. And so she had this, she only said that I have all this stuff, but I can't say anything. And that was way before 2019. I'd have to drag that up, but I remember seeing it personally.
Yeah, and if the reporting is true, I mean, hello, Savannah, we have your mother, Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it strikes me as kind of a weird way of putting it. Like, we have your mother, Nancy, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, the word "we" is interesting because if it is true, it settles the question of whether this was a cabal of people or one individual. The problem I have is that I'm always operating within the framework of having concluded that there is a very good possibility this entire thing was designed to give the impression of an abduction when it wasn't one.
It was an elimination murder, is what I believe it was. And there was a chef, a sous chef, and a couple of waiters.
He's the one who originally brought up that theory, right? The chef and was Bricado.
Yeah, the chef and the waiter, which is kind of a good analogy for what's going on. Hey, Cindy Lou, good to see you, sweetie.
Or it was an abduction attempt that went very south. If this was a traditional abduction, there would be proof of life given with the letter. Usually, you're looking at 24 to 48 hour window of sending a note and wanting, especially an elderly victim, an elderly target, out of your hands very quickly, because there is the.
When you kidnap somebody, you leave a note at the scene and tell people, don't call the police or I'm killing them.
I.e. John Bonet.
Yes, just like John Benet Ramsey. I still got that case. There 6 hours it took them to find her. She was in the house the whole time. That just blows me away. That they couldn't even search the premises and eliminate that she was there.
Possibility that they won't survive, or they'll develop a medical problem or other things. So you treat them very gingerly and carefully and so forth, and you want them back to otherwise you would lose the money. And so it's strange that there's no proof of life, which makes me think that at the time that letter was written, she was already perhaps not with us, and the person was attempting to capitalize anyway, to get the money anyway.
Is it possible the abductor is younger?
Nah, doesn't matter age. I think he's over 50.
I agree with you.
Because
I really do.
You would think.
Thank you.
An older person would realize that they were dealing with an elderly person, maybe would have more of a understanding of that this person was fragile, that this may not go the way you planned, that what health issues are like. I personally think about that more now at this stage of my life with my parents getting older, whereas when I was younger, I don't really remember thinking that way. Could that indicate that the abductor is younger versus older?
My sense is that what it indicates is that the abductor or abductors lack the imagination that is associated with empathy, so that
have no empathy whatsoever. Part of the Church of Satan, and don't give a shit about consequences because they're narcissistic and psychopathic.
The individual cannot feel what is going to happen to an individual, how a person might react, etc. So I think is that lack of compassion and that lack of empathy can become a problem for some people who are planning a crime because they lack that interpersonal imagination. And as I've said from the beginning, Porch Guy shows such a coolness under pressure that I thought this is probably somebody with some sociopathic quality to them.
Or the porch guy doesn't seem scared or agitated at all because nobody was there at that point. She was already gone. That's one possibility. But people that do those crimes, and if I was the chef, I wouldn't hire a waiter that had a record or had DNA in the system either. So I think it was somebody that is not in CODIS, which is why they can't
Or
find.
maybe they are, but they have enough authority to have themselves erased from such a database.
Exactly.
And that's exactly the kind of individual who would not think through the human reaction that a victim would have. It can also indicate that whoever is behind the curtain, because I still believe there's a chef and a waiter, whoever is behind the curtain has a great deal of animosity toward her and really didn't care.
Great deal of animosity towards her. Who other than that guy would have that great of an animosity towards her? I can't think of anybody. I don't think it's political.
I think it's a
About her very
cover-up.
much.
What's that?
I think it's a cover-up.
Yeah. Sheila T, what's up? Lucas crapped all over the damn place this morning. I woke up at 7 o'clock. And Mrs. MAB leaves at 6:30, so it had to happen in between then. And there was poop leading from the front door all the way into the kitchen. He can't hold it anymore. Sometimes he'll just be laying there asleep and he'll crap like just as he's sleeping.
Gross.
It's gross, but at the same time, I feel really bad for him because he's getting so old. But he's still kicking.
I think I'm onto something.
You are?
I think so.
You're onto something?
You want to see it?
Yeah. Check out the title of Break the Case with title of, yeah, I saw she was live. I didn't click on it though. You can only watch so many damn YouTube videos at once, right? Let me open my little window.
You got to add it to the stage when you're back.
I'm back. I'm back.
You got to add it to the stage. It's at the bottom.
All right, now we got to do, let's see. Where, oh, is this it? No.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. Add to stage. And how do we see it?
You might have to, you remove that. Yeah, can you add the, do you see Justine PLC and there's like a picture?
I'll
there?
remove this and add this there. But sometimes it screws up. Oh, it's Mark. Oh, is that Mark? No, who is that?
Yes.
Mark Kelly?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
What do you think?
He could totally,
I mean, look at the bow.
yeah, he's totally bow-legged.
And then this is a hat.
Yeah.
And his head's just tilted down. I thought that thing was a mask at first.
Do you think
But
there's
look
a
at it's a hat, not a mask.
Really? Interesting.
What do you think?
Make it big. Make it bigger.
I know. If I zoom in, it just kind of F's up my whole.
I can make it bigger. I think.
Like this part, his nose. And actually, what was funny is that I thought they put this like little thing in here.
What's going on
And
here?
the first one, and it made this really big, odd looking ear. But remember how everyone with the mask thing was making a big deal about his ears?
Yeah.
When it out? Look at that.
I know. It's like his ears are huge, sticking out. But my guy as well, the guy in the blue car and the guy, the two backpack guy, also fits the profile. But
Well, and it could be two different people. Like they could definitely still be one of the people.
yeah,
This is just the January 11th one, allegedly.
yeah. Wow.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right, you can go back to your thing.
All right. Appreciate
Sorry. Thanks for entertaining me.
it. Let's see. Did I just kick you? Oh shit. Sorry. Come back up. I accidentally kicked you. That was an accident. Sorry about that.
Oh, no.
I thought I was kicking the picture, but I kicked you instead.
It's all right. I forgive you.
Playing, no one listens, but good old Cindy Lou. Chris. I have proved that in the past. You can make anyone look like the perp if you really want to. Yeah, that's why I thought I came out with that video. The last one, I think everybody on YouTube has a mind virus after Monks came out with that picture. Everybody had the same damn picture. Like they found the guy all of a sudden. I'm like, he still has a mask on and you can only see a tiny bit. He could have a mustache like Hitler. You know what I'm saying? And people just don't get it.
Much that the point was not to keep her safe to get the money. The point was harm, and everything went as it was supposed to go.
Yeah, I agree. The point was harm and it went exactly as it was supposed to. And the Bitcoin was an afterthought and designed to throw people off to make it look like an abduction. It was an elimination situation, is what I believe happened.
For her to be harmed. And so that is the other possibility we have to keep alive. I don't think that the people involved are young. It's very possible that we're dealing with middle-aged people, for example, or, but I think the key is whoever this is has had a long-term problem with interpersonal empathy.
Yeah, we know who that could be.
And then what about the second note? The second note acknowledging that she died, saying that it wasn't intentional.
That was Ghislaine writing that note. It was a female, the other half of the duo, the dynamic duo.
Why would someone, and not asking for anything, why would someone do that?
There are several possibilities to depend upon what really went on here. One possibility, and perhaps I'm cynical about these things, but I don't think that the type of person who would be responsible for abducting an 84-year-old woman would write an apology note without it having a selfish motive. From a pragmatic perspective, I think it may have been trying to preempt the legal situation that could be coming down the pike. So the person is trying to say, just in case I get in trouble for this, this wasn't intentional.
Yeah, I don't know too much about that one either. Maureen O'Connell, the FBI profile or the FBI gal with the blonde hair.
Yeah, she's my girl crush.
Huh?
She's my girl crush.
Mine too. She's the best of the ex-FBI people, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And she thinks that they're getting close, according to her inside sources. But if you ask Brian Enton, his inside sources say they don't even have a suspect. So which is it? I don't know. I don't think they have a suspect. Do you?
No.
I don't either.
That's possibility one. Second possibility is that this is a phony cover story to hide the fact that it was really just a homicide and the accidental death was precisely what was planned the entire time.
Yep, exactly.
Another possibility is you're dealing with multiple psychologies. You have one person who's very cruel and didn't care, and another person who was going along with it and was more emotionally attached to the victim and feels compelled to reach out and say, I'm sorry, and so forth.
That could be Ghislaine, right?
Another possibility is that you have someone who doesn't, this individual doesn't have the same degree of lack of empathy and is trying to distance themselves emotionally from guilt or some other kind of thing. But you really run the gamut in terms of possibilities. One thing that struck me was that as a psychologist, I became compelled that the second note at least was probably written by a female. And I think that is an interesting thing to think about. And I want you to know I'm not the only person who says that. I've heard it in the news that other people are suggesting that
It was the
it could be a
sensitivity.
female. It's the sensitivity and the language. The language is almost poetic.
Uh-oh, poetic. Who else is a poet that we know? I don't think Annie and Tommaso have anything to do with it, really. Everybody thinks they do. I just don't see it. I don't see that much money coming to them from their mother. I mean, there's 4 children in the family, right? Wait, 3. There's 3 kids in the family. That's 300 grand if they sold the house. And whatever she had in the bank, I don't know. But I don't see her as being rich to the point where you would eliminate her for money. And then there's the kind of murder that, you know, they don't, their lifestyle has gotten to the point where they have to, let me put the comments on stage. Their lifestyle has gotten to the point where they're doing it for a lifestyle change. They're sick of taking care of their mother. They put too much time into it. And I don't see that either, because Nancy was pretty independent, as far as I could see.
It's peculiar. And that is not how people write.
You still say YNA? Who's Y? Or TNA? Tits and ass. No. Thomas. Uh-oh.
Notes. You know, that came up with the Ramsey case. That the question of whether, remember the people who thought for a little while that Patsy wrote it, whatever, they analyzed the language. Does it sound more like it's written by a female or a male? But you know, I think it was an outsider. But the point is that they pay attention to things like that. The sensitivity and passivity in the language can be a giveaway.
I got to go grab my phone real quick, so I'm going to let this play for a couple seconds.
And I am inclined to think that the first note doesn't necessarily sound like it was written by a female. And what I'm sensing is a rupture between the people involved, which is what I hope brings the whole thing down.
The first one, I'm just hung up, and if it's true, the hello Savannah to me, I don't know why the hello, it just almost feels, something about that just really stood out, almost like a horror movie, like hello, I don't know, that's not, I would never write a hello, so you know what I mean? I don't know why I'm stuck on that hello.
I know that, like, why have a salutation like that, you know, as a, right, exactly. It feels too.
Puppy. What kind of puppy? Are you feeding your dog peanut butter? Oh my God. I can't unmute her. All right, we'll go back to this. I wanted to see your dog.
Personal, friendly. But I'm telling you, I think there's something just too weird about the fact that the notes aren't directed to the entire.
Yeah, let me see that dog. You're feeding your dog peanut butter? She's feeding her dog peanut butter. She's cray. Come on, man.
Like major hat.
This is Kinsley. It's Kinsley. Like Kinsers.
Like,
What's his name? Her name?
run away.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Our family. I'm very struck by that. Very struck by that. And the use of the word we, the acknowledging her passing and saying it was an accident, the whole thing feels like somebody trying very hard to distance themselves, whether it is emotionally or legally, from the entire thing, which is a good sign, because it suggests somebody who wants this over with, wants to break from the other people involved, wants to. I almost feel like somebody should put a message out there and say, we think you want to talk. We think that you are grieving. Come forward, cleanse your soul, you know, come to and tell. And because I think that's a window that can be used. And the language was also very peculiar, stilted, like you would see in somebody who was kind of poetically inclined, a writer, that kind of person. The language is not typical of an uneducated kind of sociopath or something.
Yeah. So Dolores says, Annie and Tommaso and A is doing the notes, and they needed money bad, and Mom said no. Why don't they just go to Savannah for the money? she's got 40 million, or worth 40 million, or worth some multiple millions of dollars, and she couldn't even cough up half a damn Bitcoin to get her mother's body back. I don't get it.
Something like that, right? It looks more like the writing of somebody who has had some education and is a sensitive person. So that struck me as very weird too. And then, of course, there's a possibility the note isn't real at all. It's just some imposter that's trying to mess with the head of some poor person that is suffering. So I think we have to keep all those possibilities alive. But it is a weird note.
Two
Can't
questions.
hear
First,
anything.
the
The
female thing.
StreamYard's being a butt. I couldn't hear anything. I'll
You
be
can't.
back.
All right.
Where does that come from? What led you to think that?
It comes from the sensitivity in the note and the language use, the kind of passivity, sensitivity, and the poetic language are suggestive to me of a female writer. And I've analyzed writings by many offenders, and female writers have a very different tone to how they present things. This suggested, if you take the whole story together, porch guy against the person who wrote this note.
Could be Nancy Pelosi in the damn mask. There she is. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I couldn't hear you at all when you made me bigger than my camera went. And then
StreamYard funky. Sometimes my whole screen will white out and then I go black and I have to reload the whole stream.
yeah, I'm working on trying to figure out OBS.
Oh, that's what Patriot Pride uses.
Yeah, and it's free, so hopefully I'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
StreamYard costs a lot of money. They charge like $800 for a year.
Yeah, it's insane.
So did you hear about one of my subs husband just got diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Prayers to you and your family.
Yeah, I want to help out because that's what my 501c3 foundation is for, and I'm starting a bank account probably tomorrow. So I haven't taken any money out of YouTube or Cash App or Venmo or anything like that. So every dime that comes in is going to go towards helping other people. And I thought, who better to help than this person? So hopefully they'll email me and we'll be able to help somehow.
It looks like you've got a male guy that's going to the door that's much more kind of unempathic and nasty and cool under pressure, and some more sensitive, emotional female figure. But it'd be interesting to see if that turns out to be accurate.
And when you said one possibility is it's one person who's more kind of like just nasty and uncaring, and then someone who has a little more empathy and wrote the note, is that typical? I mean, when you see people team up to do bad things like this, is it usually like one of them is kind of a nicer one and one is the really mean one?
Well, usually what happens is when you have a person with a very strong personality that is manipulative or nasty or cruel, you can have the other individual who is pulled along with them out of fear or loyalty or love or something, some combination thereof, or financial dependency or whatever.
What do you think it is with Ghislaine and Jeffrey? I don't think it's necessarily love. I think it's more about money and power and intelligence, because we know her father was Mossad, and thereby making her Mossad, thereby making Jeffrey both CIA and Mossad. That's why he's out, because he had too much on too many people.
And that individual can sometimes ultimately, when under pressure, crack and sort of reveal that they regret it a little more. And so, for example, when you are interviewing people that are accused of a crime and there's been a pairing of people, it's always good to isolate them and talk to the one who may be the more sensitive one, because you could sometimes get them to reveal that they've been abused or are frightened or felt pressured or whatever.
Rhonda smokes. You're a smoker? Making me get your shoes on to go have a smoke. I use spreadable cream cheese. My dog loves cheese, cheddar cheese. Luna Moon, what's up, girl? I haven't seen you in a while. I've been seeing Luna Moon for almost 5 years now. That is a long time. Ghislaine Maxwell is Eric Trump's mother? I've never heard of that one. Oh my goodness, that's a big one.
Whatever, and they'll throw the other individual under the bus. I ultimately think that even though everybody's looking at technology and DNA and everything, one of the things that may end this case is that one of the people, and what I'm convinced is a group effort, will ultimately talk, because I think that there is this constant drumbeat. It's very hard to keep something hidden like that. I think these are people that are local. So you got the whole thing kind of going on all the time, and you get a little bit of a kind of, like, if you remember the Edgar Allan Poe story, The Black Cat. After a little while, the pressure builds, and you just give in. And I think I can't help but think that somebody in this story, or if it's as simple as I don't want to get in legal trouble as much, and I'll talk, But fascinating, no one's taken the reward.
If the notes are real, I feel like the last week there would have been a lot of pressure on the people involved, specifically because it just felt different. The fact that we heard about what was in the notes and all the discussion has now been about who wrote those notes. Like, if you're one of those people that was involved and you think it was multiple people, it's just interesting to think about their frame of mind over the last week or two.
Thanks, Luna. We love you too, sweetie.
Absolutely.
For Turtle Queen, yeah, that'd be cool. Have dual belts, double belts.
And I think that whoever we see on the camera, porch guy, was really just a kind of goon or confederate that was used to give the impression of someone who had no knowledge of Nancy beyond sort of studying her or trying to steal from her or something like that. You need some sort of goon to do that, because I think whoever is behind this has some degree of knowledge of her. They've worked with her, they've been around her, they know her intimately, something like that. So that you have to go out and get someone to give the impression of an outsider. That person has no stake in this other than some kind of gig. And that person, if caught, I think would rat out whoever's behind the curtain.
So I think the main chef, has a sous chef, which is a chef under the chef, in the Tucson area. That person hired the other two. Kimsta, what's up? We're not discussing that topic on my channel, honey. I get what you're saying, though. I didn't agree with that either, but ain't my channel, ain't my business.
But I think that, yes, the whole thing creates a pressure. It's like a pressure cooker process. Sometimes authorities do that on purpose, and you create a constant drumbeat, until somebody finally cracks. Because it does appear to me, with the experience that I've had, that somebody in this story is a little bit more emotional and feels something about her, and someone else doesn't.
And I guess if the notes are totally not real, then the person who really did this is sitting there thinking right now, like, oh my gosh, I've got all these people. Yeah.
Yes. And that person, if that's true, that's an individual that simply is attention hungry and sort of sadistic and is amused by the power of getting everybody to talk about this and all that. That may turn out to be the case with Mexico, whoever made the tip about Mexico. If that isn't true, then what kind of person would do such a thing? Of course, you have to raise the question, is there somebody out there throwing out red herrings on purpose?
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of different things going on, and this is just my gut feeling. My gut feeling is that these TMZ notes are not real. The ones that the Mexico note is probably not, or the Mexico phone call, anonymous phone calls are probably not real, but that the first two notes could be real because, first of all, the first one came so quickly after this all started, had specific information about where Nancy's iWatch was in the Apple Watch was in the room, and the damaged floodlight, which, yes, you could have figured that out. There's probably a way you could have made that up, but again, I just think that gives it some legitimacy. And then the fact that the second note where it said she was dead came from I forget how they worded it. It wasn't the same IP address, but it was a similar server, encrypted server. Those first two notes, for that reason, I have more interest in.
I know how they talk about the emails. They're not sending emails; they're sending tips to through TMZ's website,
like an online submission form.
Yeah, I got one. I got it right here. Send TMZ a hot tip. Make up an email, make up a name, put your shit in there, and make it all up and do whatever you want. But they do have they can see your IP address, but if you got a VPN and you're in a public Wi-Fi, very difficult to track you under those circumstances. So, yeah.
Yes. Well, see, the trouble is that, and this has been true, ever since at least Victorian times, when a case gets a very great amount of press, it brings out another motive in a different type of person, which is that you can sort of ride the coattails of a person who has actually committed a crime. Think, for example, of the infamous Zodiac killer, who was almost certainly taking credit for crimes that other people committed because all he wanted was the attention. It wasn't even necessary to commit the crime at that point. You read something in the paper, took credit for it in a letter, and next thing you know, it's a Zodiac crime.
Mm.
And so I think that it also can bring out that type of egotistical individual who just doesn't care that you're leading somebody astray. I am inclined to agree with you that the most impressive of the notes are the ones that you mentioned. My guess is that they authenticated the second one because it came from some source that was similar to the one that they're comfortable contains personal information. Information about the what was on the scene.
So the Apple Watch and the, what else was it? The broken floodlight. That was the information that they thought made it, but if Brian Enton has inside information and Maureen O'Connell has inside information, somebody else could have got inside information as well, and it's, and sent the note with the inside information, making it seem real, but who knows?
But we'll see.
You've been saying since I first started talking to you, when this all started, that you thought, or at least you were bringing up statistics, and you had this feeling that it was someone who knew Nancy, not necessarily someone close, but some sort of connection, knew of Nancy somehow.
Yeah.
But as more time goes on, and there's so many people working on this case, and you've got the FBI, and you've got President Trump caring about it, and there's so much pressure to solve it. I guess I would just think if it was within her orbit, someone, wouldn't they have found that person by now, or at least be on to someone?
We don't know that they don't have their eye on someone. It is entirely possible that you have your eye on someone, but you don't have enough to pin the individual. But the thing is that it's very, very difficult in 2026 to not slip up and leave some kind of a trail. And my guess is that there is a theory of what went on, but it's very difficult to pin it on whoever it is that you have in mind.
Someone said that his
I
case
find it
was
hard to believe that there's
dismissed.
absolutely
MAB.
nobody in mind.
Let's see. Case dismissed. Let's see.
Dismissed. That'll set a precedent.
Where'd you hear that from?
Texas woman put in the chat.
Somebody in the chat says it's dismissed.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be dismissed because it was an illegal arrest. It was dismissed. I'd sue anyway.
Yes, that's step one in suing.
Alex or Damien or DeJuice, Troy, right? If I was Troy, Damien, or Alex, I'd sue their ass off. Hey, Debbie, what's up? Good to see you, sweetie.
Where did we see this?
I got 4,809 subs. I just lost I had lost 23 subs somehow.
What'd you do?
Oh wait, now I got 4,827.
Where do you find, honestly, I don't know if I can even believe any of those numbers. I feel like they're one place in YouTube, they're different in the studio. It's weird.
Really? I'm in my channel dashboard and it says 4,827 current subscribers. And then we got members. I think I got 40 or 50 members, which is cool.
I got 5.
You got 5 members? See all members?
Yeah. I have 1643.
Ooh, you're getting up there.
I know, I'm so excited.
2030 when I met you, didn't you?
Probably.
I started with 900. So I've had members for 2 months. Forget Me Not was my first. Short Legs was my second. Turtle Gang was my third. Mama for Coffee and Keisha Sheets, Mona Mom, all the people that are awesome. Baby goats. Most of them are baby goats. I have one big daddy goat, which is very impressive. It's like $20 a month. And then I got one adolescent goat, and all the rest are baby goats. I have 2 adolescent goats.
Yours are goats.
The greatest of all time, man. Come on.
Oh, okay.
That's my new background. See my new background?
Oh, yeah, I
Oh,
like it.
we the goats.
Goats. I like goats. Goats are my favorite. They're very loyal. They're very
And that's how it got started.
I'm choking on my coffee.
Mind at all. And I think that the reason that you are forced into thinking about the
Italian girl, what's up?
possibility of somebody around her, whether it's a passing connection or an intimate one, is really that what you see in this crime is something that comes up in crimes where people who know you try to give the impression of an outsider, but they do a bad job of it. We saw that certainly in the Murdoch case, for example, and some other cases that come to mind. And the problem is that unsophisticated people who think they're very intelligent and brilliant and outsmarting everybody, they don't understand that if an outsider is going to come in and target you, it's going to be to rob you or to commit a sexual assault, almost certainly, right? And so the question is, where's the financial element and where's the sexual element? There's neither of them is there. You have some whiff of a financial element in the demands for ransom, but I mean, they didn't really take the time to keep the victim alive to get that money.
Like, here's one thought that I had about the how she died.
Mm-hmm.
It's hotter than a honeymooner's pecker here. Like, I don't know what my medications are called, like that I take. I have one for
That's a problem.
I have one that starts with an M, and it's for a mitral valve prolapse, which is like a sloppy valve.
Metoprolol. I have that too.
Yeah.
I have a partial mitral valve prolapse too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You take that motropolol, whatever the hell it's called?
Metoprolol? No. Not yet, anyway.
What it's called, but I take it. But like if I took a lady, like say you're Nancy Guthrie and you're taking a certain medication for your heart, that if you don't have it, you might pass away. But I'm sure she knows. I mean, I'm not sure that she knows the pharmacological name of that medication that she could tell someone so that they could go get it in Mexico to keep her alive. And that's probably why she died, if they were trying to keep her alive. But my theory is that it was an elimination case and that they had no intention of keeping her alive.
Could be.
If they were trying to keep her alive, she may not have known what the medication's pharmacological name was. Can you say that 3 times real fast? Pharmacological.
Pharmacological. There you
Wow, you're awesome.
go. That's it, if nothing else.
So it's just, I'm impressed more by the idea that somebody who had some knowledge of her, who knew her, did one of two things. They either wanted to abduct her to get someone to put money into Bitcoin for one reason or another. Either a debt was owed or they wanted the money to run off with it or whatever. And it went south. She passed away accidentally, which would be consistent with the second note. And I think there would have been some struggle that led to that because she's bleeding and something happened, either a struggle or she had a medical event. Second possibility is the entire thing is faked.
Yeah, I agree with the second possibility.
It was intended as a homicide and to conceal the identity of those involved. A goon was used to look like an outsider, a stranger, and it was made to look like a person came in and took her for some financial reason that didn't work out. And both of those are not totally original things. They've happened all across the annals of crime, but we don't know what this is yet, so looks original.
I have this really killer pergola I put together that's in my front yard.
Mm-hmm.
I just put the swings on it, so it has like a bench swing, 2 of them.
Ooh, that's fun.
And it's a one-of-a-kind pergola. Still trying to get the voice back. Okay. I sent a text to Adam to join us, but he hasn't got his voice back yet.
Aww.
Oh, sorry to hear that, brother.
We love you, Adam. So is he sick or he just lost his voice?
He lost his voice.
Oh, it's better than being sick.
I'm saying, sorry to hear that, brother. Pretty Little Clues and I are pulling for you.
Mhm.
Who else do I want to invite? Another YouTuber sent me a text, but never got back to me, but whatever. Anyway.
It does seem that if you were going to ask for a ransom when she was alive, why not still try to get some money when she's dead? And especially when Savannah made that video saying we will pay, even after she knew that the note said she died.
Why did that? Justine, can you tell me why Savannah didn't pay a half a Bitcoin to get his mother's body back?
Because it's not real and it's a cover up and they already know what happened to her or where she is.
Yeah.
Swear it. I'm sticking to it.
In my mind, there's two possibilities. The one that Jeffrey and Ghislaine did it, or they got word that that was going to happen and they hid her, and this is all a psyop. And the behavior of everybody involved leads me to believe that the second one is possible or probable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My guess is that whoever is responsible knows that if the money was put there and they went to take it, it would be too obvious to the people around them who did it. So as a consequence, you can't collect it. What's the point?
The Bitcoin, I understand Bitcoin because I've had it for like 10 years. I think I made a total of $60,000 so far off of Bitcoin. But that was kind of just stumbling into it. Like I didn't have any special knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I bought XRP back when it was like 25 cents. And then I bought Ethereum Classic when it was like really, really low. And Ethereum Classic went to $175 per coin. I was like, what the hell?
Wow.
You look at my thing and it's like $40,000 and I sold it. And then it went up a little bit more. I'm like, damn, I lost money.
Mm-hmm.
And then XRP went crazy just like 6 months ago. And I had, hey, Fugitive TB.
I was going to say, look who's in the chat. Hey, Marcel.
Mr. Pouton Boat.
Pouton. Can we take a ride on your Pouton boat, Ray?
I want to ride on Fugitive TV's Pouton Boat.
That sounded so terrible. I shouldn't say that.
Give me some Poutang on the Pouton Boat. I'm sorry.
Free Poutang.
Ray, it's actually called a pontoon boat. Yeah, I know you know that probably, but I'm just joshing with you, brother. Anyway, they're not real.
Not real.
It must be that whoever it is that is in that area, I'm sure, knows it wouldn't be possible to retrieve it in a way that wouldn't lead to capture. See, what I think is whoever did this has a feeling, because I think they're very selfish, is ultimately feeling, woe is me, I wound up empty-handed here.
I don't think that it was about money in the first place. I think that the Bitcoin was just to make it look like it was for money, but the Bitcoin came way too late. No note left at the scene. You don't do a kidnapping and not leave. Fugitive TV lesson about the Pouton boat. I couldn't believe you were saying that through the whole video. I was laughing my ass off. You got on this Pouton boat. Sorry.
Things didn't go the way they were supposed to go, and now on top of it, I have to be in hiding.
Why did they only put $162 in the Bitcoin account? That was the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Nobody would take or move $162 in a Bitcoin account. Now, if you put 30 grand in there, I might have tried to move it with all the things that Ray Marcel laid out You did a very good job of laying out how you could obfuscate the Bitcoin and send it to a million different accounts and then have it all show up in a different account in a different country. Now, if you had a fake ID and you went to another country and started a bank account under that fake ID, they'd still have your image, but you could start, like, say, under Biden, I went across the border to Mexico and then I came back in with no ID, no money, no nothing. They give me a phone, they give me a hotel room, they give me a plane ticket to wherever the hell I want to go. And then I go in and I make up a name. They give me a driver's license. Now I have a driver's license. And with that, a lot of them got social security numbers too. So you get a social security number.
I don't know. I don't buy it. I don't buy the whole thing. Nope.
So you can easily get a fake ID, start a bank account with it in another country, and then move your
Fake ID.
account, and then take it from there. But Ray and I both were criminals in the past, so I know how he thinks.
So that we have is a person who failed at every level in the situation. And if it's true that there's someone else in the picture who's a little bit more sympathetic, that individual could be driven by that sense of pointlessness into also feeling a terrible sense of remorse and now wanting to kind of apologize and show guilt or just distance themselves from it. I'm not responsible, ultimately. So I think good thing about people who want to distance themselves is that they're in a cabal. That's exactly the kind of person you could turn, because you could say, okay, legally we'll sort of, give you a little immunity here if you rat out everyone else, that kind of thing, because they don't want to be seen as responsible. So I think it's somewhere like that. But let me be clear. Knowing her could just be someone who worked at the house, someone who's a friend of the family, someone who, that kind of thing, a local.
I ain't buying it. Whoever did this was pissed at what they did to them. And the only person I can think of is Jeffrey. That's the only person I could think of who would have the motive to do that in the first place. And I don't think it was a botched burglary or any of that crap, or they got the wrong house. It was really the gem guy. Not buying any of that crap.
Cool in that way. So we have to be sensitive to not,
Yeah, no, I guess. Right, of course. When you talk about like someone who's removed and then maybe there's guilt, like and we talked about like now that all this information has come out about the notes, should the FBI be releasing more little bits and pieces? Like, is this a good thing? When you get in the mind of a criminal, I mean, is creating this sort of pressure and it all being back in the public eye again and everybody's talking about it again, is that a good thing for moving in?
Well, the criminal is probably loving it that they're getting to relive this and have their name in the spotlight all the time. Or maybe make them paranoid. I don't know.
Investigation along and the possibility of getting someone to talk?
Well, keeping a case in the media and having people constantly look at something, can help. Because you've got people out there,
Hey, Misty Lee Morris, good to see you, darling.
Who've been their eyes on things constantly, or even in politics, or people up there, who are looking at it and paying attention to it and feel the pressure. These are all good things.
Man, I still think it was a stalking revenge. I think it was revenge. I don't know about stalking. But they definitely cased the place out very well, and they knew the neighborhood like the back of their hand, or they couldn't have gotten out of there. Yeah.
The problem is that if there is a secondary motive of, let's say, jealousy of the fame of Savannah, or somebody angry at her for her fame or her notoriety, somebody who...
I just don't see somebody angry at Savannah being famous and then killing her mother because of it. Don't make any damn sense.
No, she's been famous for long enough that if they were going to be that pissed off, it would have been way earlier in her career. It would not be now.
I also don't think it had anything to do with her having her mother on the Today Show either.
No.
But having her mother on the Today Show let the kidnapper know, or the abductor, or the murderer, as I would call him, would know that she had a mother. Even I'm sure he would know anyway because he's like CIA, so probably knows a lot.
Bitter, whatever. If you've got something like that going on, it's complicated because this has the secondary effect of feeding the beast. that it bloats the ego, it draws attention. So there is that possibility. If you've got an outsider or person who is just being manipulative and sadistic, it feeds that beast too. So, but this is the nature of it. I think that if the sense is, if they've talked behind the curtains, to some expert from behavioral science or something, the person might say to them, look, there might be somebody involved here that could break, keep the drumbeat. That's entirely possible. There are cases where you do that. The drumbeat is helpful because the more it's buzzing in a person's ear, the harder it is to keep from snapping and saying, look,
Snapping. What if a note was left at the scene and they didn't tell the media because they got no response? Possible, but doubtful.
Right. Possible, but is it probable? Probably not.
No, I don't think so.
I can't take it anymore. This is what happened. Let's get it over with. You're coming for me anyway. That's my best bet. That kind of thing. So we don't know if it's a technique or if it's just that it's an interesting story and the news is keeping it alive, and it's having side effects. It's impossible.
Well, NBC has a security team that's supposed to have a protocol for their talent and families. They failed miserably because they did not. If they did advise the family did not follow up and do what they said. Otherwise, this never would have happened in the first place. You'd think it would be a gated community, or she'd have security or something. But having a Nest camera, she had plenty of cameras, but no subscription. That's just crazy. The cost of that is so little compared to the security. Like I have, if somebody comes walking up to my phone buzzes, and before somebody could even get to my door, I know it and I can see them, and I have time to get my protection out and ready, and it's always ready. It's either on me or close.
Possible to say.
Is feeding the beast a good thing though? Like I get the person who might feel a little guilt and this would just make them crazy. I finally want to tell what happened. But in terms of the bad person, if is feeding their beast good in a way? Does that also increase the chances that they might try to talk or act out or send another note or something?
I think it would keep them, if they are driven by ego, they would keep sending notes. But what I envisioned was that you have more than one person, and one person sent that apology note, and the other one said, "What's wrong with you? Why did you do that?" I cannot envision that being a group decision unless it was part of a concealment process and the whole thing's a fib. Like, let's make it look like this was an accident kind of a thing. But it feels to me more like somebody might have felt something and broken off and sent it, and the other people might not have thought that was the best idea. But because we're not seeing a constant process of sending notes. As far as
Hey, Ray, email me at mabinvestigates@gmail.com, or if you really want to be encrypted, send it to mabinvestigates@protonmail.com. I don't think I've gotten one email from that in that account yet, but
I've sent them. So if you haven't gotten them,
in Proton,
yeah.
really?
Yep. I always send it to both because I don't know which one you're.
I don't check it very often because I'm working my ass off all day on my landscaping. I'm doing all the work myself. So, and I have two guys that I hire. One guy if, money gets tight, and then two guys if I need them. Today, I'm going to have two guys because I'm building another retaining wall. I don't know how many walls, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6 wall. And it's going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, the height, like 10 more walls. Lots of work. All the wooden walls I built like 25 years ago are all rotten now. Anywho, here we go.
I know.
Anyway, Ray, let's do a collaboration sometime. That was fun when you came up. That would be great for my channel. Download Tor. Okay, I got you. I saw your video. In fact, I was going to go over it.
This source didn't send anymore since months ago. If they were going to feel that pressure and do it, it would have happened already, I think, at this point. What's the distance in time between the two that you're compelled to real?
4 to 5 days.
I think that source will probably dry up unless news reporting drives them into a state of feeling the need. But I think they're laying low.
And you said something else earlier. You still believe it's a local?
Yes. The familiarity, a simple example, is that probably the driving route, because I cannot envision a world in which she was not taken in a vehicle and the blood droplets go right up to the driveway and everything. I think that
blood droplets did not go right up to the driveway. They went to the right, per Chris McDonough, as we saw before.
that wherever that vehicle went, it seems clear that they had an intimate knowledge of where cameras and things would be that would be picking the vehicle up. I mean, at the very least, somebody did an amazing job scoping, but I think that takes comfort, familiarity with the area. So yes, I do think that it's locals, and I think whoever porch guy is, has probably been on the radar of local law enforcement before. May even be in jail now, but has been.
I disagree. If I was the chef and waiter situation, I'd pick somebody who had never been arrested before and is not in any databases. Why would you pick a criminal that has been in jail before? That's the stupidest thing you could do.
Well, it's an easy fall guy, because then why would they care if he got to it?
Be an easy fall guy, and if somebody does get arrested, it'll probably be a patsy.
I'm a patsy.
Nanette, I don't know if I've read it or not, but I'm gonna check my email before I start working.
Speaking of, I got to get back to it, so I'll maybe come back in a little while if you're still on, but I'll be in the chat.
All right, thanks.
Okay, love you, bye.
See you later.
And has definitely been on the radar. And that's why I think they need to be going to the jails and circulating the video footage, because as I said on the last time I appeared with you, even with a mask on, like the gait is so specific. Like if I put a mask on and was walking, you'd recognize me, or vice versa, right? So I think that somebody would be like, yeah, I know who that is. And I think if you're looking for that kind of person,
I agree, Yahweh. I mean, taking care of a pool is more expensive than a nest. Chef is local and the waiter has left the country. Country. Could be. Yeah, the waiters could both be dead by now. And the driver and the porch guy could both be deceased. In fact, if you guys remember on Friday the 13th, when Luke Daly's house got raided with the Range Rover, there were 2 hit and runs on that same night that 2 people passed away. I don't know who they were, but that was interesting that same night in the same area as that bust, 2 people passed away by hit and run.
I mean, usually you're going to go to the jails or the underworld or whatever up the area, and somebody's going to recognize them. I don't think they've recruited the person from very far away to do that.
And just lastly, because I kind of had you go both ways, is your gut that, and I'm just going to talk about the first 2 notes, is your gut that those are real, or do you think that they're, I guess there's a difference between them being real and they could be real, but the person is just not telling the truth? I mean, where's your gut eye on that?
Oh yeah, Ray, I wanted to say too, on your video about the phone being hidden, about how they can tell if there's a phone. There's 2 ways you can get around that. One, you go to the store, you buy some fishing weights, you melt the weights down until you got the lead or whatever that is. It can be lead or some other material, but you can line a lead box and then put the phone inside, and the signal would not leave. You couldn't find the phone because there would be no signal. The car that caught on fire, I don't know. I know there was 2 hit and runs that night on Friday the 13th, though. And another way to hide that phone would be in a Faraday cage. So a wire mesh box that's grounded. All electromagnetic waves that hit that metal mesh would turn into electricity and go straight into the ground. That's another way you could hide that phone. So there's 2 ways you could hide that phone without it sending messages to Bluetooth and kind of that Bluetooth method of finding the phone.
My gut is that the people involved probably really.
857 just went live. I thought I was on 857. see a black lady in court. I don't know what JLR. Hold on. Hold on. Breaking news. Hold on. $28. We got 857 live. Or no, it's JLR.
KVOA, the ones who were staking us out that day. They had the story. We're gonna get the YouTubers, and here we're gonna get the first one dismissed. Now we got to get the others dismissed. Juanita's gonna be in control. I'm gonna go over here and celebrate.
Case dismissed.
Sue them, they said, sue them.
So there was a car that got on fire that night too, and they never said who it was. Did they die? Easiest way would be to put those videos on a USB drive and hide it. Yeah, can't be traced. You can't trace a USB drive. Agreed. What would I do? I'd put it in a lead line box or a Faraday cage if I needed someone not to find it. That's what I do. But so I guess he's
Hey, look at him. Yeah.
Hey, can you do a Rocky dance?
Hi, free to be.
Freedom!
all right. So breaking 857, case dismissed.
He's holding up the
You
charges in
guys
front
are
of
welcome.
KVOA.
Thank you. Thank all of you for supporting him.
Hey, JR.
Got a good chat. I wanted you to do the Rocky
Freedom.
dance.
That's why my name on here is Free to Be, because we should be free.
How are you free to be? What's going on?
Oh,
Can you hear?
We got it. Case
You might
dismissed.
want to come back out and
I
come
wanted
back
to
in.
say congratulations to Tucson.
Back to the case. Hold on, let me get this back up here. 857's been exonerated like I thought would happen.
He did send the first one and this second one, but all the other ones I'm not necessarily compelled are real. I don't see any reason to believe they are. And that sounds like
If anybody wants to come up and chop it up, I just put a link in the chat. Yeah, I'd have on multiple USB drives in different places.
I'm on the same page and you're on the same page, it sounds like, with what Savannah believes about them. That those two seem to be the standout ones that are believable.
You can also hold Bitcoin on a physical wallet, you know, and have it on a physical device. So yeah, there's different ways to do it.
You know, I just think at this point, if you're believing that note, it must be so heartbreaking for Savannah, first of all, to have the notes directed only to her. And then to secondly, have this feeling that whoever sent this note knows where she is now and won't give her to you. What's the point of apologizing and saying you're sorry and then not having the decency to say, and this is where she is? That's why I'm inclined to think that it was not so much sensitivity as protecting one's butt, covering one's butt.
What's up, rapper?
Legally or something, because why are you not leading people to where she is? To give closure, if that's really so. That's why I'm holding in mind a bunch of hypotheses, but I lean in the direction of it being a pragmatic and selfish deed, because you would give closure to the family if you really were concerned. You'd say,
I think the whole idea behind the abduction was never to have closure and for her to suffer for the rest of her life. That's what I think.
where she was.
Really appreciate Dr. Bricado for taking the time to talk with me. He's always so interesting to talk to. You guys might remember I had him in my special that was on the CW when I did that roundtable of profilers. I think that was last month.
Okay, this is the Bitcoin guy.
Younger person behind this. I mean, who actually would be using Bitcoin in a ransom attempt? So this is my conversation with Sean. Hey, Sean, thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate you taking the time. I was really interested in talking to you because I've been covering the Nancy Guthrie case since this all started. And one thing I've been confused by is sort of the Bitcoin element. I don't know a ton about Bitcoin. I kind of just know the basics.
Yeah.
Are you surprised that with all the capabilities of the FBI, they haven't been able to track, I guess, I don't know if this is the right way to phrase it, but who created that Bitcoin account that was referenced in the ransom notes?
Yeah, Brian, thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate it. So first off, the thing about Bitcoin, it's not anonymous. A lot of people will make that common mistake. It's pseudonymous, and it's really one of the most transparent systems that has ever been built. You know, every transaction is public, it's immutable, it's permanent. And the thing about tracing, right? Like a lot of people ask the question, like, why can't they trace the Bitcoin? Why can't they trace this? Tracing follows movement, right? And that $152 that they sent initially.
$152. What idiot came up with that idea? I know. Let's put 150 bucks in there and see if the guy takes it. That was the stupidest move I've ever seen. It was like, give me a break, man. Come on, man.
Actually, hasn't moved anywhere. Which is actually a common technique that law enforcement will use. $152 is actually a higher amount, but it's something called a dusting attack, where law enforcement will send a very small amount of funds to try and get the
$152 is a high amount? Give me a break, dude. You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Criminal to move those funds paired with other transaction activity so they can then.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing you said, Ray. Yeah, you got it right. You got it right, brother. But I could get away with it because I would have a fake ID with a latex mask on. When I'd go across the border, I'd come back across the border. I would create an ID for the United States. I would go to the DMV with a latex mask on, dressed as an old freaking guy that's 65 years old or whatever. I'd get my driver's license. I'd get me a social security number. I'd start a bank account, and I would put the Bitcoin in that bank account, withdraw it, take my latex mask on, and skip duty all day all the way down to my other bank and put it in.
Effectively trace it. And that's what I believe was the technique that they were using, that they employed here. But again, it hasn't moved anywhere. It's exactly where the FBI initially sent it. So in this case, the trail hasn't gone cold. It just never started. And with like, you mentioned with all the capabilities and everything that law enforcement has, I mean, there have been so many more advanced cases than this. I mean, when you think of.
It's those black things in this dude's ears. He's got earrings in there. Come on, man.
Money laundering techniques and money laundering process, traditional money laundering. And this applies to blockchain ecosystems as well. You've got placement, layering, and integration of funds. And placement is kind of that initial stolen funds or ransom funds. It's the part where the criminal has obtained funds illicitly. And then layering, this is kind of where you think of money laundering techniques. You've got things like peel chaining activity, where they're sending small amounts of funds to thousands of different addresses. And if this is done programmatically, it could be millions of different addresses and just very small transactions to try and break the trail. Or you've got things like chain hopping, where they're going from a Bitcoin blockchain to something like a privacy enhanced blockchain like Monero, which makes it extremely difficult to trace unless if you have off-chain information or intelligence that you can kind of pair with it, or just traditional mixing, decentralized mixing like coin joins. There's all kinds of really advanced obfuscation and layering techniques that these bad actors will use. But even in these more advanced cases, law enforcement was still able to trace those funds to an exchange that collects KYC or know your customer data, and then eventually ID the criminal responsible. But that's not the case here because there's no trail to follow, right? All they have are some addresses. And so there's wallet fingerprinting techniques like, where you can ID what kind of wallet they're using. But typically that requires some transactional activity. And if I were to guess, and I'm just speculating from the outside here, Brian, is that they're using like a burner wallet or a wallet that they created solely for the purpose of this criminal activity, where it has.
Yahweh, I think there's a lot of shit going on in this case that we know nothing about.
no transaction activity whatsoever, no funds that have ever been sent to that wallet, and then no funds that wallet has ever sent funds to. And that is how law enforcement is able to take little bits and pieces of evidence to tie and fingerprint what type of wallet it is, maybe what exchange it's associated with. Sometimes you'll see things like vanity addresses. That's just an address where it looks like a name at the beginning of the address instead of like the BC1Q or BC1P or your traditional 1 or 3 type addresses that you'll see with Bitcoin. And then those will give you clues with the vanity address, kind of what exchange that they were using.
Somebody tried to buy you off, Ray, to have a narrative on a case. That is an insult. $250? That's nothing. You'd have to hit me up with 25 grand at least. I wouldn't, my word to me is like gold. So if I give you my word on something, I'll do it, no matter what it takes. That's why I rarely give my word. But if I do give my word, it's good. You can take it to the bank because I'll never go against that. In my mind, your word is your whole everything. If you're not good for your word, you ain't shit, in my opinion.
But this just looks like a clean burner wallet where they've only ever used it for this sole purpose. So there's really no clues for law enforcement to go at.
The Carmelo Anthony case. Wow. Yeah, Carmelo Anthony needs to be in jail for a long time.
After.
Does this mean, when you say burner wallet and the way this was set up, does this indicate that the person is somewhat sophisticated when it comes to Bitcoin, or no?
No, not necessarily. Like a lot of people will suggest that because, well, why haven't they moved the funds and how come law enforcement can't trace it? It's just, they're just smart enough to know that $170 something is not worth them sending to, an exchange, which could potentially lead to their demise, lead to them getting ID'd. If it was a larger sum, maybe they would move it. And then again, in some more advanced cases, a lot of times
I hate these race baiting sons of bitches. Yeah, your voice for the people, not color. I think racism only really exists because the media wants it to exist, but in real life, it doesn't really exist. I have a black guy in my family. I got a bunch of nieces who are half black and half Mexican. I have Mexicans in my family. I mean, I got lesbians in my family. It's not, I love them all the same. I don't give a shit what color they are or what political shit they got going on.
sophisticated
Don't talk politics with them because they're nuts.
adversaries will do, like North Korea, is they'll wait for, like right now, crypto's down, right? Like Bitcoin is probably about half the price of where it was about a year ago.
Be a good time to buy Bitcoin right now because it'll probably go up to 100 grand again at some point. So that's 40% increase. If you bought one Bitcoin for 60 grand, is about 60 right now.
And so sometimes they'll just sit and wait for it to appreciate. And then once it gets to a certain point, they'll start moving funds then. So I don't think that's the case in this example, just because the funds are so small. But sometimes that is what an adversary will do. They'll wait for the right moment. And then they'll say, is it worth for me to move it now that Bitcoin is worth this much money or Ethereum is worth this much money?
Ethereum Classic, man. I made a bank on that shit. I didn't even... I went one day. I just happened to look at my Bitcoin account, and it was 107. It was going up. It was like 140, and then it went to $175 per coin, and I paid like 25 cents. It was crazy. I sold part of it, and then I sold another part of it, and then I sold another part of it because I was thinking it was going to go up. It started going down, so I just dumped the whole thing. On the interview room, Karen being shut down by the friend of Nancy Guthrie. They don't want to talk whatsoever. I saw that. This is my last Nancy Guthrie conversation. Who is putting the lid? Oh, you open your detail business with Ethereum. Ethereum went nuts, man. I loved it when I got that coin. I've got a bunch of Bitcoin right now, but I haven't really checked it. I got stocks, Bitcoin. Oh no, I just whited out. That's what happens on StreamYard. StreamYard just whited me out. Look, everything went black. Now I got to reboot. Got to reload. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Come on, man. StreamYard it just goes, whoosh. It goes white. Everything goes white, and then everything goes black. And that's not racism. That's just the truth. Now this is black. Oh, gotcha. All right. All right, here we go.
What does it say to you, though, that, and this is if the ransom notes are real, that the person behind the Nancy Guthrie abduction is trying to use Bitcoin? I mean, does that profile a certain kind of person? And again, like you mentioned, the what did you call it? Like a stealth, like the way it may have been set up. What was the word you used?
What, like a burner wallet? Or
A burner wallet. Yeah.
Burner wallet. Who do you think is shutting up everybody connected to the Nancy Guthrie case, including all our friends from church? That's bizarre. Hey, Chatty Jen. I heard about your husband. Me and Mrs. Mab want to help, so send me an email at mabinvestigates@gmail.com, because my 501c3 foundation was designed to help people in need like you. So who better to start with than you and your husband? So I haven't started a bank account for the foundation yet, but it's all set up. So tomorrow I'm going to start a bank account, and then I'll move all the money that's in my YouTube account and my Cash App and my Venmo into that bank account. And then I will get a hold of you and we'll do what we can to help you. All right? Because we love you and your husband.
Yeah, is that indicative of someone like younger? Maybe I just think of like people older than me don't seem to know about that stuff, but maybe that's just me profiling sort of.
No, I mean, there are older people who understand, how to use cryptocurrency. I mean, there's a number of cases I've worked on where there's been like 50-plus-year-old doctors from Venezuela who understood how to use cryptocurrency and ran an entire ransomware operation while they were also a doctor.
Wow.
So like you'll see some cases where the person that you would not expect at all is someone who
Yeah, it's just MABinvestigates@gmail.com. In fact, I got a banner right here for it. Right here. Right. No. Come on, man. There. That's it right there. So, yeah. Email me.
Understands this stuff. But I would say that you're not wrong in assuming that this could potentially kind of limit the number of types of people that this could be. You have to have some kind of an understanding of Bitcoin to be able to create a wallet, to understand that the address is how you and I communicate or transact, and then be able to provide that to the person to then send funds to you. So there is some level of understanding, but like nowadays, because cryptocurrency has been around for so long, I mean, and plus with Gen AI tools, I could just Google it and then it'll give me a step-by-step process with Gemini of how to set it up. So really anybody could do that.
And so
and those searches, Ray, that you showed on, I forget what the term was. Oh, how to do something with, what was it, from Alaska. What I question is, why would they search it 100 times from Alaska? Why would they search it 100 times, period, if they only need one search to find out if they only need one search to find the information out, why was there 100 searches on the same day? That don't make no sense. Just a question I have for you.
saying basically the $160 some they put in, you think the person saw that and was just like, it's not
It's
worth
not
the
worth
risk?
it. Yeah, it's not worth the
Yeah.
risk. You know, they're looking at it as calculated risk, and they're saying, is this worth me going behind bars for?
We've been using a VPN that retracts the IP addresses. Could that like make it look like they searched 100 times instead of just once? I don't get the 100 searches. I would, if it was 5 or 10, that would make sense. But 100 searches, that don't make no sense to me. I don't know if I'm being an idiot or what, but
for the rest of my life potentially. And the answer to that is no. What can $170 something get you in this economy right now? Not a whole lot.
So is there any way to track just who's looking at the account? Like, because obviously we know TMZ apparently has the address, but like, is there any way for the FBI to just see who's looking at it?
As in, like who?
As in, and again, I'm sorry, I don't know much about Bitcoin, so I forgive me.
That's fine.
But like when you're saying they could look and see that the FBI put the $164 in, right? And then they're just deciding not to take it out. Is there any way for the FBI to figure out just who's looking at who knows that that's there, like who glanced and saw? Oh, they, you know, who took a look in the account?
The only way that you could potentially do that is through internet tools where you're looking at things like if they have partnered sites with like blockchain explorer like companies, then or blockchain analytics firms like Chainalysis or TRM Labs. I mean, there's potential where you could do something like that, but it's not going to give you a name or anything. It's going to give you other pseudonymous identifiers, likely a lot of different IP addresses. And a lot of those IP addresses are probably going to be associated with people at TMZ and anybody else who has access to what address or addresses are associated with this case. So, you know, you're going to have to do a lot of filtering out of all of the different IP addresses that are associated with law enforcement, with news agencies, with whoever else has.
Oh, I see. They could have used a bunch of different searches of a different wording to find out similar information, or that makes sense. But 100, I was like, damn, that's a lot.
That address, and plus a lot of information will sometimes spill or leak out, so then you also have other people who may have that address not even associated with this case, that, you know, somebody provided to them, maybe from TMZ or somebody else who let that information leak out. And so, you know, the information may not be, you know, credible even if they were able to obtain that information.
So really they need to take the money out in order for them to be
you
tracked.
need those funds to move. Yeah, exactly.
Do you think, and there's been some debate whether, because it sounds like everything we're hearing is that the FBI advised Savannah not to pay the money. You know, there was no proof of life. I guess there just wasn't enough meat on the bones for them to justify. But at the end of the day, from what the FBI people I've talked to, like, you know, it's her decision.
Yeah, I get it. From a dead phone, from a powered off phone, from a iPhone, from a Android phone. So they could have used a bunch of different shit to do that. But just put that thing in a Faraday cage and ground it. Nobody's going to find that phone. But not a lot of people understand electronics and electronic waves, how electromagnetics work. But so since I was an inventor and I read like thousands of patents all the time, I understand a lot of technology that most people don't, just because of that. Because I would read the patent and I would get to understand the technology so that I could make sure that the patent made sense before we filed it. So when electromagnetic waves hit a metal mesh, it causes it to turn into electricity. And that's how motors work, right? You rotate a magnetic field through the windings, which creates electricity. So when the electromagnetic field from Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or anything hits, are you going to go and invent a Pluton boat? Pluton. That's going to be my new. I'm going to name my kayaks Plutons. I got 2 fishing kayaks that I use. I'm going to start taking you guys ocean fishing on my kayaks after I do my landscaping, probably this summer sometime, and I'm gonna put right on there Pluton boat.
And it's
every time you said that, it just cracked me up.
Their decision at the end of the day.
Yep.
Do you think that they should have advised her to pay, because the temptation then would have been there, because it's so much money, if it was $1 million or $4 million or whatever, that the person would have pulled it out?
It's really not my place to say. I wasn't in the room when that decision was being made. I don't have all of the evidence to be able to make an educated guess about what was the right, decision in those scenarios. Working with law enforcement in previous cases and just my understanding of their capabilities and handle on this case among other cases, I just have to believe that they used the right judgment based on all of the information that they had at that time.
Do they, based on the other cases you've worked, like with the feds and stuff and law enforcement, do they have a pretty good handle when it comes to investigating cases involving Bitcoin?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you could look at just look at FBI's partnership with IRS-CI. So IRS has a criminal investigations division who specialize in cryptocurrency tracing, and FBI is very good at cryptocurrency tracing as well.
You don't pay your taxes on your crypto, the IRS will find out immediately, because it happened to me. I think it was about. I think it was the 40,000. I forgot to claim it on my taxes, and they came after me, and I had to pay like $7 grand to get it back.
Well, and a lot of the people who work those cases go on to work for companies like Coinbase and TRM Labs and Chainalysis and very, very advanced like cryptocurrency tracing and analytics type companies.
Every time I log into my Coinbase account, I get a phone call that says that somebody trying to say that my account has been hacked and that they want to secure my Bitcoin by putting it into a locked wallet or whatever. They're trying to basically give them my Bitcoin and put it into their wallet. And they're making it sound like, I don't know shit about Bitcoin, and that I would send all of my Bitcoin to their wallet so that nobody steals it, which in reality, I'm just giving them all my money. So I strung them along and strung them along and strung them along and strung them, acted like an idiot and kept them on the phone for like a half an hour. And then I said, "You're an idiot, F off." Then he called back. It was funnier than shit.
Where they're looking at things like this every day, fraud cases, tax evasion through crypto, a lot of different type of activity, but they are extremely capable when it comes to that. They have access to tools that a lot of people do not have visibility into, very expensive tools that have.
If you cash it out, you got to pay your taxes. If you move it, you don't. It's only when you take it as profit that you have to pay the taxes. So I've been claiming all my Bitcoin money now. I didn't make much last time. I think I made about 15 grand on XRP. And then that was the last big one. The last one I got money off of.
What we call on-chain intelligence, things where you may see one address, right? But that address can be clustered with potentially 10 or 100 or thousands of other addresses that have ever transacted with that. And then they cluster that together. And then once you get intel on one of those addresses that's clustered with the thousands of other addresses that are grouped together, you start to build a picture about the entity that controls that wallet or wallets that is controlled by one person or one entity or one criminal group. And some of the tools that I mentioned previously have that ability where you can look at it and it almost will label the criminal organization that's associated with that address, who they've transacted with, other criminal organizations that they've transacted with. Is this associated with money laundering? Is it associated with ransomware? Is it associated with CSAM activity? Like they've got a lot of abilities within law enforcement, and I know for a fact that they're using a lot of those tools. It's one of the things that we teach in our course at SANS around cybercrime investigations, and we're teaching a lot of those law enforcement professionals how to use tools like that.
So if you're Savannah Guthrie and you obviously have quite a bit of money, would there be any benefit at some point if this goes unsolved to pay an outside company that specializes in cyber crimes and Bitcoin and stuff to try to do their own investigation? Or do you think like what the FBI has is pretty much the best?
Yeah. So I can tell you firsthand that FBI is working with those companies already. And anytime that there's a criminal or a cyber criminal case, any private company that has visibility that the FBI might not have, they've partnered with in previous cases before. So they may not be saying anything public about it, and they typically won't until the case has been solved. Because right now it's an open investigation, and they know that if they say anything publicly before the case is closed, then they're probably not going to get the opportunity to work with law enforcement again. But there's a lot of private companies out there that have unique telemetry, unique visibility into blockchain, into IP infrastructure, into a lot of different things that allow and help the FBI trace through, like IP tracing, email address tracing, blockchain tracing. There's specific companies out there, and I would name names, but like you can just Google, blockchain tracing companies. You can Google, IP address infrastructure tracing companies, and you'll figure it out for yourself. But there's a lot of private companies out there that assist and collaborate with law enforcement and other public sector agencies on cases like this. It's how we're able to.
I'm gonna have to cut this one short, guys. I have to pick up my my oil stock. My oil put on oil, it's not doing great. It's worth about 600 bucks. It cost me 3,780 bucks. I have till July 17th for it to fall in order to make my money back, but I'm probably going to lose out on that one because Trump didn't do his job fast enough. I didn't realize he was going to do all these ceasefires and shit. So I think I'm going to lose out on that one. But I already made half that money back on another bet.
Take down transnational organized crime the way that we are able to do.
Interesting. Okay, so they're already probably working with the outside private companies. Yeah, we see that with the DNA too. Like in a lot of criminal cases that I investigate, they'll go. There's certain DNA labs that just have better technology, more specialized scientists than FBI has, so they'll pay those people to work on cases. That makes sense. Okay, so it sounds like there wouldn't be a benefit right now to Savannah trying to hire someone to solve this on her own.
I don't think so. I think it would just add additional unnecessary noise. I promise you, they're looking at this from every which way, every different perspective, through their private sector partnerships, as well as within internal law enforcement agencies.
What do you think, just sort of overall, of the Bitcoin component to this? I mean, because we still don't know if the ransom notes are real. I mean, they obviously have to take them seriously. And it seems like the TMZ ones are separate from the first two that arrived to the local TV station. The first two seem like a little bit more, I guess, credible.
Based on the timing, as well as some of the information that they provided in the note. I feel like some of.
What's up, Deb? Good to see you.
The more recent ones have been a bit more opportunistic, and you see that even with cybercrime, where you get opportunistic actors who will try and capitalize on something that's popular or trending right now. They see one ransom note went through. Well, why not me? Why can't I create a ransom note similar to that one and then just give them a different address? So there's always going to be bad actors, criminals, fraudsters who are trying to capitalize on an opportunity whenever something is big or trending.
All right, that's going to be about it. I'm sorry, guys. I got to go pick up my workers at 10:30, and it's 10:15. I got to have them working by 10:30, so maybe I'll come back on after I pick them up and get them working. But I'm going to have to go for now. Let's see. Because, I work every day. Big hugs to you and love to y'all. And Chatty Jen, I look forward to hearing from you. Maybe I'll start that bank account today. Let me go do that. Let me get these guys working first, and then I'll go start that bank account. That way I can help Chatty Jen. All right, guys. I might be back soon, or I might not. It depends on how it goes. Have a good day. MAB loves you. Peace out.